we've all been there. You're sitting there working on that project you've really wanted to make, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. You got your character controller in. You have, basic networking set up. You can log in on the same machine. You can log in from, LAN, right? You have the buds of a game, right? But one day you turn off the computer or you close Unity and you never open that project up again. I used to find this happen to me all the time, and I still find that happens to me, occasionally. I would say that there's two main reasons for this. One is you are just losing interest in the game, so you've lost the fun. Or another is you reach a part that's so hard and you're struggling to understand the concept or figure out how to solve a problem. Some examples of when I've encountered this are when I do those monthly game jams, and luckily I got a job to pull me off that because I was struggling so hard with those. I thought that would break, the cycle of always wanting to quit and start over, is just, completing stuff in 1 month. But the struggles that I've faced in that actually, kind of left me demoralized. There's a balance that you have to reach when you're creating things, because you're going to find parts that are too hard for you right now, right? You're going to have to look stuff up. And the important thing is you cannot just give up at those points. The ways that I've figured out at least how to cope with it, I'm not saying I've cured this quititis or whatever, but the ways that I've coped with it is, obviously self-accountability. So there's different methods for self-accountability. You can start a Google Calendar and schedule, when you will work on this and when you will work on that, and start scheduling out your life, right? Like, you're not letting someone else tell you what to do, but you are definitely giving yourself some deadlines. You're using Jira to manage your tasks and manage some sprints on these projects that you're working on, so then you can get them done in a certain amount of time. And if you don't, you have to hold yourself accountable. Like, it's really important to set these deadlines and then be consistent with checking on it. So for myself, I've started a Google Calendar where I even map out, the hours when I'm working and then the hours when I can do certain individual projects. So it's really important to stay in line with that and then map out those projects on Jira, creating a task list or, basically a backlog and a sprint and everything like that, to where you can figure out, what needs to be done. So then when you're at that point, when you're like, I don't know what to do. Well, there's no excuse. You have a whole list of things to do, and maybe you don't want to do them, but if you do them, not only will you figure out how it works better, but you'll be able to get to the other stuff, right? Another method I've used to cope is actually, group projects. So I've recently got in contact with a viewer named Aziz or Azichi, and we've been working on a Sudoku mobile app that's a multiplayer mobile app. And it's actually, outside of his reach, technically speaking, but he's actually going above and beyond to want to learn. And I like to think that that's because he's working with a group and he doesn't want to let me down, and I'm working on it hard because I don't want to let him down. So the group accountability kind of trumps the self-accountability. If you're the kind of person that wants to, keep going because you don't want to, screw something up for someone else, then, finding a coding partner or an artist or someone having a plan and holding each other accountable is super important, and a super, reasonable way to continue down your projects and be able to complete any project you want, of any scale. Obviously, your friendship will probably be destroyed if you pick some kind of large scale project with two people. But, something small like a mobile app and kind of work together at that, not only will you both learn from each other, but you'll both be able to complete your tasks and hold each other accountable. I mean, we meet, twice a week. We talk about, what we did in this past week on the project, where we struggled, what we could use help on, or who could take what. And it's just really important because that in itself will help you finish projects and be happy and find fulfillment as a programmer. I got sick of just, starting projects, and then whenever you hit a speed bump, you have to start over, you start the new project or change focus and design something completely new. Like, it's such a waste of time, right? Like, you are learning things, but a lot of times when you're starting over, you're just doing the same thing over and over again. You're wasting a majority of your time in this initial setup, which, if that's what you're trying to get good at, is just setting up a project, opening it up and writing a class, then you're on the ball. But otherwise, you're going to need to start working hard and trying to figure out, how can I fix myself? So I hope that my insights are helpful to you. And if you have any insights on how to overcome these issues of quitting or feeling or losing interest in your projects, just let me know in the comments, because it'll help me and I'm sure it'll help other people. It'd be really cool to talk to you guys on Discord. Just join the Discord. It's in the description below. And if you want to keep seeing more of me, just subscribe, and I promise you I'll keep coming back.